Hey, hello, and welcome to my video on how to have a great time playing with yourself. Now, there's at least a couple of ways you could go with that title. So just to clarify, this video is a practical guide for guitar players who would really like to have more fun when jamming, creating songs, recording, or performing by themselves. Now, I'll admit this is a little bit of a long video compared to most kind of equipment videos or whatever, and I hope you have a good time watching it, maybe at least the first time through. But if you get bored, I'm going to put timestamps for everything in the description below, and you can just scrub around to whatever looks interesting to you. Okay, here's my first question. Do you have fun playing your guitar? And I mean really enjoying yourself when you play, so much that you can get lost in your music, so to speak, for like hours at a time? Or do you typically pick up your guitar like once in a blue moon and plink around for a few minutes on the same old songs that are etched in your head, then get bored and walk away? Well, the goal of this video is to help you have more fun playing guitar by yourself. And I believe there's really two ingredients to making that a reality. First of all, you need to practice enough so that you don't have to consciously think of every chord change or where you're at on the neck or something like that. And secondly, you need to make investments that are going to help you enjoy the process of becoming a better musician. Let's face it, when you're having fun, you're going to play longer and more often. And the more you play, the better musician you're going to become. So if you can create an environment where you enjoy practicing and playing, then the process of getting better suddenly changes from like work and effort to having an absolute blast playing your guitar. So that's what I hope to provide in this video. An incremental equipment plan that's going to help you start having more fun playing guitar right off the bat. Then it's going to build upon itself with each stage of investment, from jamming to creating songs to recording to playing live. It's going to kick off at about $100. It's going to top out between $1,500, $2,500, depending on where you want to go with it. And this is based on my own personal quest, having played guitar for over 40 years now, to get better and to have more fun as a guitar player, excuse me. So hey, different strokes for different folks, but I'm 100% confident this approach will give you the same results, and that is help you get better and help you have a lot more fun. Let me start with what's not included in this video. I'm not going to talk about stuff like guitars and mics, cables, amps, stuff like that, because that's stuff you already have probably, or you already know you don't have, and there's no reason for me to play Captain Obvious in the whole thing. However, I will list a few personal choices at the end just to kind of like tie everything together on my own personal rig. Okay? All right, let's get going. The first step in the model is going to help you really start having fun jamming along with yourself, the jam rig. So we're going to start very simple with one piece of equipment, and that's a multi-effects guitar pedal that has both an auxiliary input and a headphone output, in addition, of course, to a guitar input. So you're going to use that auxiliary input to play backing tracks from like a mobile phone or an MP3 player or computer. And you're going to use the headphone jack for jamming and privacy, and obviously with an electric guitar. Now, unlike the old days, i.e. the 80s and 90s when I was in high school and college, there are now tons of resources for free jam tracks to play along with 24/7. Okay, so you're never going to run out of inspiration and fun playing along with jam tracks, and you're not going to run out of any of that, right? So if we're lucky, though, back to the pedal, we're going to get two more really cool features that are going to up the fun factor of this whole thing. And here's a great little pedal that fits the bill. This is a Zoom G1X4 multi-effects guitar pedal. This has standard 1/4-inch inputs and outputs, an auxiliary audio input, stereo, and a headphone output, stereo. So this unit checks the main boxes we want to, start jamming with ourselves. Plus, the unit itself features 71 digital effects and pedals, stuff like that, stomp boxes, 13 digital amplifier models, a 5-slot effects chain that you can string together all of these things in any order that you want, a digital tuner, and an expression pedal. Plus, it has those extra features that we were looking for to up the fun factor, and that is a 30-second looper and 68 built-in drum tracks. Now this pedal's pretty well rated, 4 out of 5 stars on average. It's super affordable for what you get, and it's available everywhere right now. Now I'll admit, it may not be quote unquote pro quality. A lot of players are just going to write this thing off as a toy, but you know what? It's a hell of a fun toy, and that's what we're going for. Fun factor, right? So let's check that out. I'm going to do a quick little demo for this, but before I do, I would love to give you a demo of that pedal, but I don't have that actual pedal. I have the previous model. So this is going to be the one exception of all of this, where I'm showing you a piece of equipment that I don't, or I'm recommending a piece of equipment that I don't actually have. I play the previous model, the G1X, because I have it. It works great, and I don't really have any reason to upgrade. But if I were starting from scratch, I would definitely buy the new pedal, because I really like the layout of the buttons and controls a lot better. Plus, it has some really cool features and functions that this older pedal doesn't have. Nevertheless, if you'll indulge me, I'm going to use this pedal to give you a little mini demo to show you how fast and easy it is to start jamming along with any of the G1X pedals from Zoom. Okay? All right, so let's give it a shot and see what we get.
All right, welcome to mini demo number 1 for the Jam Rig, and that is exactly one pedal. It's going to run you about $100. That's a G1X4 pedal from Zoom. Now what you're looking at here is the G1X On. This is the previous model. It's discontinued now. But what you get with both of these pedals is a wide variety of digitally modeled stomp boxes and effects, a wide variety of amp and cabinet simulations, a backing rhythm track option, drum player basically, drum tracks, and a 30-second looper. Now, if you've seen one of the two units and seen how it works and heard it, you've basically seen how both of them generally work and what they both sound like. Sonically, they're identical. The newer model just has a better layout of the buttons and controls. I think it's a little more user-friendly, a little more intuitive to use. So anyway, what are the fun factors of this thing? That's really the question. I'm claiming this thing's fun. How is it fun? How is it going to help me have more fun? Well, let's face it, probably about, 99% of the guitar players in the world, or guitar owners, should we say, maybe safer, play by themselves about 99% of the time, right? Well, you get bored after a while. It's just humanity if you're just playing by yourself. Now, maybe you're Tommy Emmanuel or something. You're just awesome playing by yourself and you can keep yourself entertained. For the rest of us, what options are out there? And this is it, $100 option from Zoom. And here are the fun factors. Fun factor number 1 is just exploring all the patches. Incidentally, this thing has been running the whole time, so it's a nice quiet setting. You can hear this. A lot of people say, this thing's a toy, Well, sure, compared to a Line 6, a Helix or a Head Rush board or something, $1,500. Okay, maybe it's a toy, but hey, it's a hell of a fun toy, let me tell you. So just exploring all these patches. So here, clean patch. How about we want a little more grunge? Okay, so that's pretty cool. I don't know, what's this one that sound like? Okay, whatever. The point is you can do this all freaking day long, and that's the entire point. You can have so much fun just exploring all the patch options that are available, editing the patch options, making your own signal chains with stomp boxes and amps and limiters and chorus or whatever that you want, saving your own. Absolute blast, just having fun exploring this pedal in and of itself. Now, the second way that you can have fun with this pedal is playing along with jam tracks. Okay, this pedal has a mini stereo input, auxiliary input up at the top. Now if you look at the top, you see 2 cables coming into my unit. The white one's my guitar, the little gray one is coming right out of my iPhone. I went to Spotify, I searched for blues jam tracks, and this is literally the very first thing that came up. Now I am not that good of a lead guitar player, right? Just gonna illustrate, all right? enough of that. The point is, all right, make sure it's out of the frame over there. The point of that is, Spotify, SoundCloud, YouTube. There are 1,000 sources for just free jam tracks. You can play along to your heart's content. Any genre you can think of, pretty much any speed you can think of, it's out there. So there's a second way to have an incredible time with this pedal. Excuse me. Second way to have an incredible time with this pedal is playing along with jam tracks, right? Very, very cool. Right out of your phone, right into your headphones, and it preserves a stereo signal, which is pretty cool for your input device. Okay, the third way that you can have fun with this device is playing along with the drum tracks or the rhythm feature that's in this thing. Okay, and the new unit comes with 78 different tracks, drum tracks, in all different kinds of styles. You can vary the beats per minute. You can vary the output level on it. Other than that, you can't get real creative with each style. It is what it is. It's just kind of a drum track that's locked and loaded. Let's check this one out. I've got it set to a 16-beat pattern version number 3, I think, at 130 beats per minute. Pretty simple. Sounds good. Sounds really good for a freaking $100 pedal. If you're playing through headphones, you won't believe how cool this thing sounds, especially with the stereo effects from your guitar. But point is, third way to have fun, jamming with the rhythm tracks. Okay, so let's check it out. Now again, right? Absolutely. All day long. Now, what I'm going to do now is I'm going to show you the fourth way to have fun with this pedal, and that is layering in the 30-second looper. All right, so I'm going to switch to the looper. I'm going to arm the looper. It's going to give me a 4-click intro, and then we're going to get going. Let's see. That's the plan. Let's see if it actually works that way. All right, here we go. There we go. So I've got the looper going, right? Now I'm going to overdub. And there you go. So there's my little scratch track, right? So I can play some lead, I can sing along, whatever I want to do. All right, so that should be a pretty good idea about how you can have fun. 4 ways you can have fun with the G1X unit from Zoom. The new model is the G1X4. And how can you have fun? Well, number 1, you can explore all the crazy patches that are in it, and you can make your own, save your own. Number 2, you can use it to play along dynamically in stereo with jam tracks directly out of your phone or your MP3 player, computer, or whatever. Number 3, you've got a built-in drum machine with 78 different styles and patterns to choose from that you can vary the speed and levels on. And finally, you've got a 30-second looper, all in this one $100 pedal. Okay, absolutely cool, absolutely amazing. You need to get yourself one and start playing with yourself.
Okay, pretty cool, right? So here's a fair follow-up question, I suppose. Are there any other options for this pedal? Yeah, there are, but not too many. You can save 10-20 bucks with the G1-4 pedal, which is essentially the same unit, just without the expression pedal on it. And you can find a variety of very similar pedals on Amazon from brands that you've probably never heard of and may never hear of again. But if you want to stick with a brand name multi-effects pedal in the $100 range, I don't know of any that have both the rhythm track features and the looper features and all of the built-in modeled effects and amps. Of course, you can always spend more, but we're looking for bang for the buck fun factor, and the Zoom G1X4 definitely has that. Okay, the next increment in the model allows you to create songs and play your songs as a 3-piece band without having a 3-piece band. So how does that work? Great question. Let me show you. What we're going to do is we're going to keep that auxiliary input device on hand. We're going to come back and use that later, but we're going to upgrade now to a new pedal that can produce dynamic bass lines and drums for whatever chord progressions you play into it. Now, in my opinion, this next pedal we're about to see is the #1 key ingredient to having insane amounts of fun playing with yourself, so much so that if you only buy one piece of equipment as a result of this video, this is what you need to buy. It's the Digitech Trio Plus Band Creator and Looper. This is literally band-in-the-box software in a hardware pedal. It gives you a digital 3-piece band, or it lets you be part of a digital 3-piece band that is ready to play along with you 24/7. You can choose from 12 different music genres, 12 styles within each genre. You can program 5 song parts in pretty much an infinite combination and order of sequences. You get variable dynamics for your bass and drum parts. You get a built-in looper with basically unlimited overdubs. You have separate outputs for your guitar and looper and your bass and drum, and there's an effects loop. You have adjustable levels for the looper and the bass and the rhythm. You have a headphone output. I'm telling you, this unit is not perfect, and there are ways I think it could be improved, but I don't want to go into that now because there's literally no other pedal on the market that does what this pedal does. So let's spin up another quick demo and see what kind of fun factor this thing can deliver.
Okay, welcome to mini demo number 2. This one's going to be the song rig, and like we started out with one pedal in our jam rig, the Zoom G1X4, we're going to add one pedal to that, and we're going to add this, the Digitech Trio Plus Band Creator and Looper. Now what this pedal is going to let us do is create and save songs dynamically on the fly as a digital 3-piece band, like a virtualized 3-piece band. Okay, massive fun factor. If you thought that the G1X was a lot of fun, and it is, you're not going to believe how much fun you're going to have with the Trio Plus. In fact, if I only could recommend one piece of equipment as a result of this video that you invest in, this is going to be it. No way, no two ways about it. In the 40 years that I've played guitar, I've had a few pedals. I'm not a super gear freak, but I've had lots of pedals and effects and stuff like that, amps, and I can tell you without a doubt that this pedal is the most fun I've ever had as a guitar player is with this pedal, and it's helped me be a better guitar player because it introduces the disciplines of playing live, if you will, that most guitar players are never going to get really to enjoy that much of. Let's face it, 99% probably of the guitar owners, let's say maybe instead of players in the world, people who have a guitar, if and when they play guitar, they're going to be playing alone by themselves 99% of the time. And that was me. Okay, that was me. And the G1X brought me out of that funk, and the Trio Plus absolutely liberated me from ever being in that kind of funky place again. Massive fun factor. Favorite pedal ever. Here's basically what you get with that. Fun factor number 1, you get a digital drummer, not just a drum track. You get a responsive AI drummer with fills and transitions and all kinds of cool stuff like that. Fun factor number 2, you also get a digital bass player that will actually make bass lines according to the chord progressions that you teach it to play. Now let me tell you about these two musicians. They're not the most creative musicians you're ever going to work with. It's easy for them to misunderstand what you're asking them to do. You sometimes have to ask a few times for them to get it right. But on a positive note, they have absolutely perfect rhythm. They never get bored of your songs. They never get tired of playing along with you. And they never show up drunk, and they never miss practice because they were hanging out with a girlfriend or boyfriend, right? So they're ready 24/7, instantly turn them on. They're ready to start jamming and playing along with you as a digital 3-piece band. So that's fun factors 1 and 2. Fun factor number 3, like exploring all the patches on the Zoom pedal, if I did the math right, there are 1,728 combinations of settings that you can achieve on this pedal, individual settings. Starting with the top center button, the genre, you can choose from 12 different song genres: blues, R&B, rock, alt, rock, metal, pop, E-pop, hip-hop, country, folk, Latin, and jazz. And within each genre, you can choose from 12 different styles. So there's 144 options already. Now you lay over that, you can choose on anything. You can select from 3 different bass lines, kind of a complex walking bass, kind of a normal sound, and then like whole notes. So there's multiply 144 times 3. And then on anything this band is playing, you can ask the band to play with kind of regular expression or with emphasis. And you can ask them to play in regular time signature or in like an alt time or cut time signature. I think if you do all the math on all that, it's 1,728 different combinations that you can achieve on this pedal. You'll notice there's no way to like set 95 beats per minute or anything like that. Think of this as like a sound canvas, right? A pedal that allows you to scratch track out your songs quickly. And if you want to save them for later, well, we'll get to that in the next portion of this equipment rig. But for now, we're just going to show you. Let me stop talking and show you how to use this pedal. Now I'm using a 3-button Digitech foot switch off camera because this pedal's kind of high on my board and it's sort of hard to get to. So I'm going to use this pedal over here to make the changes. The first thing, the next thing I should say I want to show you is number 4, how to have fun with this pedal, is look at the top of this pedal. Do you see those lights changing? Those are the individual song parts you can program. You have up to 5 parts that are roughly intro, verse, chorus, bridge, outro, right? You don't have to use all 5. You can use all 5. You don't have to use them for those things. You can use them for whatever you want. But additionally, you can program or sequence these parts in any number of, any combination, any order up to like 99 sequence steps. So you can make songs that are 30, 45 minutes long. Incidentally, each song part is, I think it can be like 3 minutes long or something like that. You're not just bound to like 30 seconds or, a 12 bars or 8 bars or whatever it may be. Okay, so the 5th way you can have fun with this pedal is it also has a looper function, right? So that's super cool. I'm going to show you each one of those right now. So we're going to start with the band. I'm going to arm the band. I'm going to put it in the alt rock setting. That's kind of what I'm shooting for. It's up there at the 10 o'clock position. And I'm going to arm the band. I'm going to play a quick chord progression, and let's see if they, how well they're listening, or rather how well I'm playing and teaching them what I want. Nope. Didn't like that at all. Let's try again. Maybe. I'm just listening to the bass. See if he got my changes. Good. Did you see a little fill there, or a transition at the end? Okay, so cool. There's more verse. Let's do a chorus, right? Same thing, except now that I've laid a part down, the pedal knows basically what tempo I'm looking for, and I can ask it to give me a click track back before I start playing so I can lock into my tempo. Even if I get it wrong, this pedal will quantize everything and match all the song parts automatically together. But I want to be in the general ballpark, so let's start with the click track. Now I'm going to arm the pedal, and I'm going to play the second line of, or the second chord progression for the quote-unquote chorus. Just checking the changes. Perfect. Okay, so I'm going to put my guitar down. I'm going to run you through a couple of the features, and then we're going to come back and lay a couple of loops over it, and then we'll be done. Okay? So let me get this bad boy on the stand. Get the mic. Okay, here we are down at the pedal now. We're on the chorus. Just so you can see and hear, let me just run through a couple of the genres that are available to you with doing nothing else but changing the genre. Right? Here's where we started. Want to go metal? What about E-pop? I mean, country? You can hear the different bass sounds as well with each one of these. How about folk? Hear the acoustic bass now? I mean, come on, you just gotta admit, that's pretty freaking cool. And you can do this all day long with all these styles. Okay, so here's what I want to do. I like the bass line like that. It's a little complex, but that's okay. I want a little more emphasis, so I'm going to punch the button here for emphasis. Perfect. Now I got a ride, little cymbal ride going. Let's see if there's a different cymbal ride available. Okay, that's a downbeat. Tick and tick and tick and tick. I like that. Let's stay with that. Okay, let's prime it back to the first song, see if we still like the way that sounds. And it's coming up. Dum 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 dum. Here we go. I don't know, it sounds a little dry. There we go. Maybe? All right, let's just go with that. Okay, back to the guitar. Let's create a loop. So I'm going to try and catch something like this. Okay, here we go. Let's do this. That's what I'm going to try and lay down. I'm going to arm the looper, and here we go when it goes solid. Okay, it wasn't perfect. That's okay. Got my loop going, right? Okay, let's do the loop on the chorus now. So I've got no loop. I just changed to the chorus, or song part 2, and now we're going to add a looper in that. So I'm going to cue that up, and I'm going to do something a little different for the backing. Okay, here we go. There we go. So now I'm laying down my 2 parts of my song. Let's see how the verse sounds. I mean, hey, I'm not trying to impress anybody. I'm just trying to show you what is possible with this pedal, right? Back to the chorus. Everything's tempo matched. It's all quantized. I can adjust the tempo up, down if I want a little bit. All right, that's about it. So that's a quick demo of the Trio Plus Band Creator and Looper. Like I said, if you make one investment as a result of this whole video, I highly recommend you consider investing in one of these. You're going to have an absolute blast as a guitar player or a keyboard player or whatever, and you're really going to improve your playing by having this virtual 3-piece band at your disposal 24/7. All right, hope this has been cool. Let's get back to the presentation.
Again, pretty cool, right? I mean, come on. Okay, so for other options, these are the only pedals I think that even really come close at the time I'm making this video, and they're only going to save you about 10% on price. The middle and left units from Boss, they have loopers and rhythm tracks, while the Beat Buddy is just a dedicated drum machine in a stomp box. Now, any of these may offer maybe more parametric control of the rhythm tracks than the Digitech does, and I don't know, maybe even better sound quality. But none of them have the digital bass player component, and they're nowhere near the Trio Plus for like on-the-fly dynamic song exploration and construction. Okay, so we're going to stay with that Digitech pedal, and at this point the rig's starting to grow a little bit, so we're going to add a simple dedicated power supply from multiple 9-volt pedals. This is a True Tone 1-spot combo pack, and this little guy is cheap, it's flexible, it works perfectly, and it will definitely save you some headaches on dealing with batteries in all of your effects pedals. Okay, next next step forward in the model so that you can start creating your own scratch track recordings on the fly. It's what I'm calling the micro studio. And here's your essential micro studio. We're going to bring in a multi-track digital field recorder, and we're going to feed that recorder with a split signal from the band creator, one for the guitar looper and one for the bass and drums. You're also going to keep that auxiliary input option alive just in case you want to bring that back into the mix and record yourself playing along, singing along, whatever, with actual backing tracks. So which digital recorder do I recommend? Do I use? I use this, the Zoom H6 digital field recorder. This little handheld unit lets you record up to 6 individual tracks directly to an SD card. It comes with a left-right stereo condenser mic capsule, that silver thing you see on the top of it, 4 combination XLR 1/4-inch inputs, 2 on each side, you can kind of see there. You can even get 2 more XLR inputs with an optional top capsule. The audio quality, I guess you would say, it's 24-bit 96 kilohertz audio, available in uncompressed wave or compressed MP3 format. It also functions as a 2-in 2-out USB audio interface. You can see right on the front it has physical gain dials, 20 decibel dB switches, selectable phantom power for the first 4 channels, ultra clean low noise preamps, really easy to use interface with a full color little LCD screen there, headphone output, a mini stereo unbalanced out. You can mount this on a camera or a photo tripod. I'm telling you, in one word, this thing is awesome. Sure, there's a few things I wish it did differently. I wish it had any onboard effects at all. It has none really, except for compressor and limiter. I wish that the dials could adjust playback levels on the fly and not just recording levels, stuff like that. But otherwise, this thing is freaking awesome. It really does 99% of everything I feel is reasonable to expect in a handheld digital field recorder. Now, at the beginning of this video, I said this was a flexible equipment plan, and this is a great example of that because I've actually been using this unit to record and mix the audio for the 2 mini demos that you've heard so far. And here's a general schematic of what I'm doing. Because the Zoom H6 has so many input-output options, you can actually use it straight up as an audio mixer for live video or podcasting with no computer required. Not only do you have the 4 dedicated XLR channels, that default top capsule unit has a mini stereo input jack. So what I did is I came out of the headphone jacks on the pedals directly into this top capsule. Then, in addition to monitoring my recordings using the mini stereo headphone jack, the H6 has a mini stereo line out jack, which is a line level signal of the headphone mix, which you can run directly into a video camera. This is exactly what I did for the 2 little demos that you saw, so that you could hear the native signals coming directly from the Zoom and the Digitech pedals. So you basically got a double secret bonus demo of the Zoom H6, and you didn't really even know about it, right? Pretty cool. Pretty cool. Okay, so what options exist in the digital field recorder category? Well, there are a lot of options in this category, and the edges are starting to get kind of blurry, but I think you'll generally find that Zoom and Tascam are pretty much the bang for buck leaders in the category, with solid, reliable units that have really good ratings across the board. Now, if you don't need or want 6 discrete recording tracks, the best buy, at least at the time of this recording, is probably that unit on the far right. It's actually discontinued. I think it's the Tascam DR40, but many online retailers still have these things in stock. It's a 4-track recorder with 2 XLR jacks in the bottom like these other 2 units have, but I couldn't find a picture of that. And clearly the most affordable option on the table. I think the lowest price I saw this week when I was putting the video together is $109 for that unit. So pretty good option. Okay, on we go. The next increment in the model expands the micro studio with some additional foot switches and instrumentation. Now, having actually walked this path myself, I personally don't consider this next part of the model quote-unquote optional, but it's definitely not quote-unquote necessary. Okay, so I think you'll see what I mean when we go through it. Either way, let's walk it out together. For the expanded Micro Studio, here's what we're going to add. A 3-button foot switch to get more control over the Digitech Band Creator, which you heard me reference this switch in the mini demo. An ABY foot switch that allows you to select between multiple input signals to feed the Band Creator. And finally, a micro synthesizer to expand your instrumental options and give you some lead synth options, maybe some backing tones like some organs or string pads, some percussion sound effects, a sequencer, stuff like that. Okay, not a whole lot to say about the foot switch, other than you can choose from 3 sets of pre-programmed button options depending on how you like to use the Trio Plus Band Creator. For that wet-dry switching, look, there are a ton of ABY foot switches on the market. I bought the OSP unit. It works great. So do all the others. Just get one that works and you're basically good to go. Okay, now we're getting deep into the discretionary part of the equipment list. And I admit it, this is a Roland JDXI. It is a 3-octave mini synth with 37 keys and a gooseneck mic, vocoder features, 4-track sequencer. It's a hybrid digital analog synth, I guess. I'm not a synth guy, and I really cannot make a solid case that you need one of these. But it has massive fun factor, a massive amount of sounds available, and can really expand the possibilities for your recordings and your live sound. Now this unit retails at $499, $500, but you can catch it on sale occasionally for $400, or you can grab a pre-owned unit for about that or less. And again, if you're not interested in this, knock off $400 or $500 from the total rig investment and just keep rolling. But if you are interested in this whole kind of micro synth class, there are some options available in the same kind of price category. I'm not a keyboardist, like I said, and I have played on these units in store, but I haven't owned them. So please take my recommendations on the whole synthesizer thing with a grain of salt. They're super fun. I think they can really add to your fun and your playing, but you don't really need them as a guitar player, rather obviously. So let's just kind of keep rolling. Okay, finally, the creme de la creme, where we're going to add a few more pieces of equipment and configure everything for a live performance gig rig that's going to give you top-notch front-of-house sound for just you, or you and another person as a duet, or maybe even a 3 or 4-piece band in venues of up to 100, maybe even like 150 people. And this is what it looks like. To do that, we're going to add vocal effects, a mixer, and speakers for front of house sound. These additions also open a lot more microphone, instrument, and signal routing options for your micro studio setup, because this same schematic can be used for expanded multi-track recordings. You just switch out the mixer interface entirely for the Zoom H6 and you have a complete multi-track recording studio in the palm of your hand. To keep things simple, I'm going to tell you right now, there are many comparable options to the next round of equipment I'm going to show you. So I'm really not going to bother trying to list all the options or demo any of this, because at this point we're really deep into the model and not everybody's going to want to take it this far. So I'm just going to walk you through the equipment that I've personally selected as best of class, best bang for the buck, etc., etc. For vocals, I'm going to start with the TC Helicon Harmony GXT pedal. Now, this is an older pedal, but here's what it gives you. Adaptive equalization and compression with basic pitch control and de-essing, all with a single button push. That tone button in the top left there gives you all 4 of those. Down below you see the double button that gives you vocal doubling. There are 2 configurable harmony voices, kind of quote unquote, and 10 user definable presets. Now earlier I said if you could only buy one piece of equipment from this video, it would be the Trio Plus Band Creator, and I'm going to stick to that. However, if you play guitar and sing, you might seriously consider this unit or something like it, because you can literally use this as a personal mixer with basic effects and level controls for your guitar, your vocals, and the digital harmonies. So literally you can show up with this pedal, a mic, and your guitar plugged directly into the PA system, and you are off to the races as a solo kind of singer, player, performer. Again, lots of options for pedals like this. There are newer units from Helicon. There are units from Boss and Zoom and several other manufacturers, and the prices range from about $150 up to $800. But this is a solid choice in the category. It's not too expensive. It's still available new, and it really helps expand your vocals. So you know what? Check out some videos on this unit if you like. On we go. The next piece of equipment is a small form factor live sound mixer. Now, I personally chose the Yamaha MG10XU. This is a 10-channel mixer with onboard effects. You get industry standard 24-bit 192 kilohertz sampling as a USB audio interface. You get 3-band EQ with high-pass filter, 26 decibel pad, and 48-volt phantom power on channels 1 through 4. You also get really nice clean preamps with this model. The first 2 channels include a 1-knob compressor. You also have a couple of channels for stereo RCA inputs on 5, 6, and 7, 8. You get balanced and unbalanced left-right main outs, stereo headphone and left-right monitor outs, an effects loop, and you can mount this thing on a mic stand. Like I said, there are lots of similar models in this price range from Mackie and Behringer and Soundcraft, and so if you're curious why I chose this model, check out the review on my YouTube channel. I did a whole review just on this mixer, and you can figure out why I thought this won the day. Okay, I know I said no cables when I was starting out, and this may seem like a small thing, but I'm telling you, this is the secret ingredient you need to connect that mixer to the speakers, specifically the XLR balanced output from the mixer to the speakers, and that's a dedicated 33-foot left-right stereo XLR patch cable for $22 and free shipping on Amazon. In fact, I felt this one piece of equipment, strangely enough, was so important to this whole package. I actually did a review video just on the XY cables that I was considering for my package. This is what won the day. It's a well-made product and a great value. You can check out that video if you like as well. Last but certainly not least, so everyone can hear your music, a Turbo Sound IP2000 powered column array speaker. This is a full range powered speaker that gives you a very wide 120-degree dispersion pattern, horizontal dispersion pattern. It has a single horn loaded super tweeter at the top, so all the sparkle from your guitars and vocals and everything else is projected out over the heads of the audience so everybody can hear it. Okay, that's really, I think, an intelligent design. Then running down the tower, you get 16 2 3/4 inch mid to high frequency drivers. In the bass you have a single 12-inch sub. The whole thing is powered by a 1000 watt Class D amplifier with the 3D spatial sound things and all of that. You have 2 input channels on the back. They're XLR combination inputs. Plus, you can run Bluetooth directly through this. And there's a mobile app for remote operating this whole unit. This is going to give you a really good sound field for venues up to 100, maybe even 150 people capacity. You can even use this speaker to DJ live sound and music at like wedding receptions or birthday parties or business events. I personally put on a couple of business events with this with 100, 125 people. It worked perfectly. All you need is a power outlet, a mic, and a mobile phone with Bluetooth, and you're pushing out a really legitimate sound field. It may not thump your chest, but everyone in the room will be able to hear your music and enjoy the full dynamic range of your music. Like I said, lots of options in this category from just about every speaker manufacturer that you can think of at this point, at prices from like $350 up to $1,700. This one sits right in the middle of the pack for price and performance. And again, I tried a lot of options. I went to lots of guitar centers and local music shops. I went to pawn shops. I went all over everywhere I could find a tower speaker. I went there and I listened to it and I played on it, and this one just won the day, all things considered. So there you have it. A solid incremental equipment plan for every guitar player that can take you from jamming in the bedroom to creating your own songs, to recording your own songs, to performing live or doing special events, and you're going to have a ton of fun at every stage in the process. And you can get started for only $100 and build out the rest as you have the money or the interest or the need. Like I said, with the exception of that first guitar pedal, this is entirely the system I personally use to jam, create, and record myself and for live sound. This isn't some blogger's guess at what might work, based on reading specs online and looking at other reviews. And this video was in no way a paid promotion. This is my own system that I've kind of put together through several years that I can recommend with absolute confidence. It's flexible, it's affordable, and it's going to serve you well for many years to come. Okay, quick side note before we wrap it up. As I mentioned up front, here are a few other key pieces of equipment, I guess you would say, in my own personal rig. Okay, just so you know. My first real microphone that I bought, like, I don't know, maybe 20 years ago, the good old MXL 990 studio condenser microphone. You can still pick these up for $70 new with a shock mount, and it works great. If you don't expect too much and you know how to do a little work in post-production, you can get some tremendous instrument and vocal sounds out of this microphone. No two ways about it. It's not a Neumann, but you know what? For $70, I don't think it can be beat. Next, more simple math, man. The Shure SM58 vocal mic and SM57 instrument mic. Yes, there are 1,000 mic options in the market these days. These are still the industry standards, and I promise you will never regret investing $200 of your hard-earned money to buy these two microphones. I also went ahead and invested in nylon gig bags and covers for everything, including OEM covers for the turbo sound unit, which I do recommend. And to haul stuff around, I found this really cool Husky brand 3-piece rolling tool tote combo from Home Depot. I keep my mixer and my mics and some other equipment in the largest bottom roller bag. All of my cables and extension cords and stuff I keep in the middle bag, and all of my recording equipment I keep in the topmost small bag there. All this stuff was going to run you another, like, what, $500 or something, but hey, different strokes for different folks. That's why I left all of this out of the main rig specs. And finally, maybe a little anticlimactic at this point, but here's my personal setup in the corner of my office. And this is exactly what you saw being used in the mini demos earlier. So in that one little soft side pedal board, I have room for my jam rig, my song rig, all 3 pedals for the micro studio and the gig rig. I've got the keyboard up top, feeding the ABY switch down below, and just peeking into the frame at the right there, the Zoom H6 recorder. For the record, I did not use that 990 mic for the mini demos. I just used this little cheapo karaoke mic that I keep handy. That's why the vocals probably sounded a little bit boomy. And I'm using a little Logitech headset for recording these vocals, so that's why they sound a little bit tinny. Okay, but hey, we're still having fun, so that's what counts. If you're a bored guitar player, maybe those days are over. Whether you're jamming in the bedroom, you're laying down some scratch tracks, you're creating some songs, or you're out gigging live, I really hope that this video and these recommendations will help you have a lot more fun playing guitar by yourself. I'm going to put links to everything in the video in the description below. And I really want to thank you, man, for checking out this video, maybe for subscribing to my channel. I don't do a lot of videos, but I try and do good ones that I don't know, maybe other people aren't really doing, or try and take angles that other people aren't really taking. So this pretty much wraps up the video. Until next time, may peace, love, health, joy, prosperity, and great music abound in your life. Now go get your guitar and have some fun playing with yourself. We'll see you around.